We're back out here working on the seed room, and I'm gonna be honest, things are not quite going our way so far this morning. We realize we may have an issue with some of the windows that we purchased. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna keep moving forward here. Last night we finished the headers. Eric got those in there. They were very snug above each window frame. He's been out here already this morning working. He got the top plates on and did some measuring on the 𝐒𝐢𝐻𝐸𝐻 end wall. So right now we are addressing the framing above these walls. There's two of them, and we're also gonna be tying that into the 𝐒𝐢𝐻𝐸𝐻 wall. And we're gonna put a ledger on the back. We do have to modify our chimney support. We were hoping for like a 2-foot drop. We're not quite gonna get that. It'll still be okay, but we have to modify that. So we'll get close to that mark. And that's really important for us because we want a little bit of a slope for the snow, but we also really needed this wall to be tall because this is for seeds and we need to have trays and make sure that we can go up pretty high. The studs are marked on the wall. We're gonna get that support bracket down and see what kind of cuts we can make to it. You want the ledger starting underneath that, you think?
Okay. That's the bottom of our metal. Right now we have that's 27 1/4. So the top of our roof will be at 25 inches, but it's a 2x6, so you gotta minus 6 inches.
2x8?
19 inches. It'll be a 19-inch drop instead of a 2-foot drop, which isn't that bad.
That's beefy.
Took off the wood, so now our rafters will be in a perfect line.
More stuff is not going our way. We've got our ledger up. It's a 2x8, very beefy. And Eric marked out where we were putting the rafters every 16 inches. It took us a while to kind of figure out how we want our overhangs with our metal roof. So we decided we're gonna have a 16-inch overhang on the sides, and it's gonna be a little closer to 20 inches on this front end wall. So just more math that we had to do. We have all the rafters cut. I believe they were at an 11-degree angle that Eric measured. So we've got the two sides, they're parallel, and then we have the little notch where it's gonna rest on this wall or the top plate. We were planning on using these strong ties, but we've had issues with these really in the past, not working with our true lumber, and they just don't work at all. You have to like really bow them, and it's just not gonna work for us. So Eric came up with the idea to use these timber lock screws. He's gonna kind of put them in at an angle from the top. And he's gonna try to like toenail the sides of the rafters. We think that should be strong enough. So that's what we're working on next. Let's get rid of these strong ties.
Right. Yeah, we got one up there. Okay, right?
I'm flush. I would think that's sufficient. I don't think we're going to need to support it at all.
No, it's no way. I don't even need to toenail it, I don't think. Just drop it down.
I won't drop it on you, promise.
What?
I won't drop it on you. I'm good. Ooh, she's tight. How you plan on laying that OSB up there?
What do you mean? Use the
Well, I
side.
didn't know what way we're going with the sheets, that's all.
Longways, I think.
So we need them to, do we need them to overlap? Honestly, no. If they don't overlap, you can always run some support.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I don't know. Let's see.
I was just looking at the 16 on
These are
center.
16 inches on center. They should overlap.
Okay.
But the center's not, so.
That's why I was just looking at your last one. It's a hair not in the center. I'll show you if this one isn't.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
You remember where we're supposed to go?
Did it ever occur to you we could turn this into a tiki bar?
We got what?
Turn this into a tiki bar. Can you tell if it's flush on the outside here, or do you want me to tell that?
I gotta go forward.
Yeah, it's stuck. What's going on? There you go.
More. Gotta sink it in there.
One, two.
There you go. Going pretty good out here this morning, and it went decent last night. Yesterday was one of those days where you work a lot and you don't see a lot get done. But we got the rafters up, and the timber lock screws, they worked really well, surprisingly. The only thing I guess we're not really concerned about it, but we might change in the future is, so where your rafters are sitting somewhere, it makes sense to have them sit on something. That's going to give them the strength. So right now, the strength is basically in those timber lock screws. So we're going to put the roof on, we'll do all that stuff, we'll move forward with the supplies that we have. And if in the future we think that this isn't going to be strong enough, which is extremely strong, I think I might do like some sort of block underneath here, or maybe get some 1-inch or 2-inch angle iron and bolt it to this ledger the whole way across. That way these rafters are kind of sitting on something. But we'll deal with that in the future when we get to it. We also got our little bit of framing here. And right now our rafters, well, we're missing one on each side. So we did them all the way to the edge of the building, but we want a 16-inch overhang. And things are getting a little tricky here. We're gonna kind of float that last rafter out on each side. We need to get our fascia board on first so we can bolt into the fascia board and the ledger. And then we'll support that last rafter, kind of connecting it into this one right here on the edge of the building. The fascia, it's gonna get a little bit tricky because our board on the end, our rafter, we cut it at an angle. So we're gonna see if we can get it to fit in there.
It's like a door splinter, right? I think. How are you on your side? I'm good, so you go whenever you need. See? You think? Like, push it up, build a little thing to make it higher.
Oh, I was just gonna take the whole roof up and put a big beam across the whole top.
Okay. Are you stepping on it?
It's very
Kinda
strong.
dangerous. Are you coming down, hon? You're just staying up there.
Help.
Grab yourself.
Right there?
Yeah. Okay. Good. We're really eating through the wood on this project. We've got 28 pieces of lumber over here. We actually have a lot more lumber because we have some other sizes, but we started with 96 2x6s, and yeah, we have 28 left. So we definitely are eating through a lot more than we accounted for. I think we thought like half of it was gonna be for this project, half would be for the garden, but we're gonna have to cut a lot more if we wanna finish that greenhouse this year. We finally finished with pretty much like the whole framing. So what we've got going on here is the fly rafter. Eric was talking about that, and those are called outriggers. I just learned that the other day. It's just because it needs to be supported since it's not resting on the top plate or the wall itself. And it's incredibly strong. Eric was actually able to walk up there, no issues at all. So next up is going to be sheathing.
Sheathing, or do you want to put the OSB on the roof?
Is it not sheathing if you're doing roofing?
Sheathing or sheeting? What's it called?
I think it's sheets, OSB sheets, but it's referred to sheathing on the walls. I don't know what the roof would be called. Roofing.
Starting to look pretty good. I think it looked a little better earlier when it was all wide open. Now it feels like a confined space, and it's starting to look like a seed room. We've got all the sheeting up on the roof. We also did the sheeting or sheathing, whatever you call it, on the side, and it was very technical, but it was cool because we got to use a bunch of scrap pieces of this OSB that's been left over from probably a year ago, just doing projects around here, so it was neat to use that. Next, we're gonna go back up on the roof, and we're gonna put a roof underlayment. This is the one we've used on our chicken coop. It's called Malarkey 401. It's an Arctic seal, so this has like a sticker on the back of it. This one's really old. This is left over from the chicken coop, so it doesn't really stick anymore, but we're gonna use it anyways. We're gonna staple it down, and this is comparable to what you'd buy from Home Depot. I think theirs is called Gracie. This one's just cheaper, and ice and water shield. So it's gonna keep everything off your OSB if it happens to get through your roofing. In this case, we're using metal roofing. Let's head up there and see if we can get it laid down.
Got it.
Okay, I think we're definitely gonna have to use that last roll. Like this?
It's officially fall in Alaska, and we sure have a hefty list of things to tackle. It's been about a week and a half since we have worked on the seed room. We had some family visiting for a week, and also there's been a little bit of drama with the windows that I briefly mentioned. We are going to be using the windows that we have. We're going forward with those. Eric's been getting some stuff ready for when we get back to work tomorrow. Fall's my favorite season, but it is a very abrupt season in Alaska. It's literally not even a few weeks long. So these leaves on our trees turned yellow the first week of September. We're now into the second week of September and they're already falling off. And there's snow coming down the mountains already. Before you know it, the ground's gonna be frozen and hopefully we've got everything done that we needed to get done. Hello. Our ginger plant, not very happy out here. He needs to get into the seed room. The goal is to get a lot done tomorrow, and then from there, we really need to shift some of our gears back to the garden, get things harvested, and also work on the shop because the shop has no lights and it's just got the one source of heating right now. Today I'm going to take care of the onions that we harvested a little while ago, and I'm also going to be pulling off the herbs and get those stored away in some mason jars. I think I want to stay above there. So I apologize. I said braiding, but we are going to be stringing the onions. And we're using string, little loop of twine, and you just kind of wrap the neck around. You can do it different ways. I'm trying something new this time, and you just cinch it or like push it down and just kind of keep everything organized. And I clip off the tops of the onions, as well as I just shorten those roots. Usually you'd want to wait till these are completely dry. They're not, because they've been in the shop. We needed to get them out of the elements. We were getting quite a few frosts. So they still have a little bit more to go to dry. And I think that ultimately they are going to end up in the shop as their permanent winter storage. It should work out just fine for them. But yeah, isn't that cool? They look beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lost count at 15, but I think we're gonna do like 20 on here, Eric. Isn't that pretty good?
You talking to me or your fans? Well, it's been a little while, but we're back out here in the shop and we're going to be working on the seed room today. We're hoping to get accomplished the metal roofing and all the trim. And for the past couple days, we've actually been heating the shop with the stove. We're just burning wood in here right now because we haven't got any coal for it yet, but it's doing an awesome job so far. It's nice and toasty in here, and I've got some supplies that we're going to be using in the next couple days sitting in front of here, and this stuff works a lot better when it's warm out. Temperatures are starting to drop at night. We're getting about freezing at night, but we've got some caulking, some flashing tape. We're gonna get the flue closed, get her turned down a little bit. We'll shut the door. We're heading outside. Okay, hold on a second. It's right here. Got it. Right there. Got it. You're away about 6? Oh wow, that's perfect.
And now, I do have something to tell you though.
Okay. You're gonna go 1/8 of an inch down.
About an eighth, yeah. I'm about.
Okay, now let's go through and we'll hit this with screws.
Okay.
Those are nice. Every other rafter? What do you think?
Sure.
Something like that?
Oh.
Got the front trim pieces on, and now the next step is going to be putting the metal roofing on top of the building. We went with silver to match the 𝐂𝐢𝐻𝐸𝐻 hut. These are about 3 feet wide, and we had them cut at 12 feet because we didn't know exactly how long our roof was going to be. Turns out we needed at 142 inches, so we're going to have to cut off 2 inches. We've got them stacked in a nice tight stack, so it should be pretty easy. We'll put a guide on here, and then we'll try to cut through all these panels. I don't know how many we have. Yeah, I think we got 8 of them. We'll try to cut through in a nice straight line, and then the part that we cut, we're going to make sure to put that up against the building, not on the overhang, because it'll be hidden later with another piece of trim. Get my stuff. Not bad cut, huh?
You did a nice job, hon. I was gonna say, go a little flatter. That's good.
And this is a nice roof. How about that? That's gonna look good. This is gonna go like that.
What are you gonna flip? Remind me, this goes on top.
We'll put 2 screws. Set the next one on, 2 screws, and work our way down. And then the whole top will be fastened. Hopefully it will be good.
But not the last panel?
The last panel we'll have to take down, cut, and then we'll do that.
Okay. Just double check your seams and stuff, make sure. And then we're just gonna choose how we want to slide it in.
Metal roofing is up, and there's nothing worse than putting on a brand new metal roof and having your screws not line up and be straight. So a way we found to make it look really good and symmetrical is we take measurements down this side and that side, and then we take a string and we connect the measurements, and then we'll just do 1 line of screws. We'll move the string down, and we'll work our way down to the bottom, and we'll end up with a nice straight line. Hopefully. So these are just your regular roofing screws. Magnetic tip. Grab our string. Oh, I missed it.
I was a little adamant about getting the flashing that covers the edge rafter pieces. And so it just made it a little tricky. We've never used those before. We had to just make sure everything was as close to perfect as it could be. There's a little bit of a discrepancy in the roof, but not too bad. And it's really cool. It actually looks like, it honestly has like the look of concrete when you get further back from the building.
Perfectly level.
Thank you, hon. Jesus, I was jumping off. Do what?
So we're gonna do the same thing on different. We're gonna nail towards the top.
Okay.
Like right here.
Okay.
So. Ow, it's hot. Let's mark this line real quick. Things are getting pretty technical here. You can do all sorts of different cuts and overlaps with this trim, but what we're aiming for is just getting it right. We don't have any extras, so we got to make these cuts count. What we're gonna do on this one is, this is a cool trim piece. So this goes down the side of the side rafter. This part rests on top, and then this goes down, and this is gonna end where the roofing ends. So it's gonna extend a little bit past the building, and we're gonna try to cut this out in a fashion where we'll have a little tab right here at the end that we'll be able to fold down and kind of hide that gap on the end. That's the idea. I think I've got it traced out how we want it. I guess we'll give it a go, see what happens, right? that make any sense over there?
I think that looks really nice.
Looks good? Looks decent.
You have to do the whole other side.
Yeah, I gotta get these screws. We gotta see if we want any screws on the side or not. Well, we're getting there, folks, and we're working on our last trim piece. This one's gonna be a little bit tricky because we're gonna have to take off some of this chimney support and we're gonna slide it behind there, drill some holes, bolt it in. The whole concept here, when you're putting this trim in the roofing, you gotta think about the shingle effect. So when water hits one thing, you gotta make sure that it goes on top and falls onto the next thing, if that makes any sense. So this is going to keep anything that gets behind the siding. It's gonna flow down, it's gonna hit this, and it's gonna put it on top of the roof and not under the roof. Let's get these bolts undone and see if we can get it in. Really? I grabbed the wrong size. See how it hangs down a little lower right there?
Are you sure it doesn't fit flush right there? No, it doesn't. So we were very careful when we measured this to allow enough room. Eric already had to cut this last time we were out here, and yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but we are about 1/8 of an inch off, 1/4 inch off. It's just not going to fit.
So easy, huh?
So easy, so simple.
This is so easy. Now we gotta grab
It's like
this
inception
tool.
of metal roofing.
Now we gotta grab this other $200 tool. Okay, what I'm gonna do is line this up on our edge.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll hit our screws right here.
Okay.
Every other, probably. We'll start there. The other day we were out here and we heard an owl hooting, and it's kind of cool to hear because we don't usually hear them here. I think the next day Arielle came out and she found this, and it's kind of cool because you can look through these and see what they've been eating, and it's just fur and bones. This one looks like it was eating some sort of little mouse. I'm guessing it was a vole. So there you go, an owl pellet. What is that? That's part of the skull right there.
You found the skull? I just saw the
Part of
teeth.
it. He really munches them down. Big goals today. We're trying to get the windows in, but first we're gonna put our house wrap up. And as you can tell, with like this little bit here, there's not much area for house wrap. This room is pretty much all windows. And speaking of the windows, we're using a rough opening of 48 inches by 48 inches, and that is size specific to our windows. So that's gonna give us a 1/4 inch on every side. That way we can put a little foam in there, we can seal it up, and the window fits nice and snug. We're gonna start with an old leftover roll of house wrap that we used on the 𝐊𝐤𝐕 hut. Don't think it's gonna be enough, and we'll switch to another brand new roll. Let's see what happens here.
Let me just get this out to the corner. Oh yeah, you're already... It's like $100 difference for rolls.
It's quite the difference, yeah. Did you ever think?
Where are you going with there? What are we saying?
Who ever thought that putting in windows could be so much fun?
See? And see, and I'll probably just cut it like this.
Yeah, I got you. You Good.
Yeah, so you don't have to staple on the bottom is all I was saying. Is the frosting here pretty hard? Maybe take it? It's really hot in there.
Yeah, it's chilling. So this is how we're doing the house wrap this time around. We're cutting kind of like an X in the center, and we're having some folds here. So the bottom one, we're cutting flush. The top one, we're cutting flush. The side ones, we're doing a little bit different. We're leaving them long, and then we're wrapping them around the edge, and we're stapling them on the back right here. And then we cut this little extra tack piece off.
Well, here are the windows that we're installing, folks. They're absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be a relief to finally get them in. We've been preparing for this for a very long time, ordering these windows back in April, picking them up midsummer, transporting them. And unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, when we opened them up to closer inspect them, we looked at the stickers and realized quickly that they were not the windows that we hoped we were going to get. Now, that posed a little bit of an issue, of course, and we've been in contact with the company. Fortunately, they haven't been tremendously helpful, so we feel at this point that we're forced to use these windows with winter coming up. At this point, it's just too late to get in a new order or to have these windows altered, you know, drive them all the way back and have them altered and move forward. We're in mid-September and they just gotta go in. It's getting way too cold and the flashing tape doesn't work correctly if it's not warm. In order to tell you about why they aren't what we ordered, I have to give a little bit of a background on windows. If you're not familiar with them, I'm also new to learning about this, but we had to do pretty extensive research when we wanted to build this seed room basically from the ground up. Windows, we all know, let in a lot of light, but they're not good insulation. So they don't work very well for keeping the hot air out and also keeping the warm air in. If you think of like a traditional greenhouse with a single pane or a single sheet of glass, I think that's the best example. They really maximize the amount of light that seedlings can get, which is basically what we're using our room for. But they're so poor at keeping that heat at night that it just immediately goes away, right? Because you don't have any insulation. They also can scorch your plants because you have all of that sun just magnified coming in. If you've ever sat behind glass and felt the warmth of the sun, you know, penetrating through the window, this is modern times. So we've got double pane and triple pane, and double is 2 sheets of glass, triple is 3. So you have, you know, 2 air spaces in between the 3 sheets of glass. For a while now, they've been doing things to increase the efficiency of windows. Low E coating is one of them, as well as argon gas, or a type of gas, a clear gas that they'll fill the spaces with if you have either double pane or if you have triple pane windows. When we ordered these windows, we did get triple pane, but we wanted no low E coating or none of the argon gas. And our reason for not wanting the low E coating is because we did a little bit of research, and I felt like if I had the option to not have it, you know, these are custom made windows, that I didn't want it because it actually blocks UV rays. So it does 2 things really. It blocks quite a bit of UV rays. It depends on what coating they put on, the, you know, intensity of it, and I think how many coatings they put on the glass sheets in there. And it also blocks infrared rays. And those are the ones that I was talking about earlier when you're sitting behind a window and you feel it getting warm behind you. So I kind of wanted that effect because it's a sunroom. So as the sun passes, we wanted the building to actually heat up quite a bit. And plants also utilize UV rays. So those 2 reasons alone was why we ordered no low E. And on the other hand, some of the benefits of low E are that they are much better at reflecting that hot air back into the environment. So think if you like live in a hot climate in the summer, that's going to be really helpful, right? So you don't get that scorching effect. They can also reflect the warm air back inside the building, you know, on the interior space. And because they block a lot of the UV rays, they minimize damage from the sun. So, you know, sun bleaching, stuff like that. Over time, you'll see furniture can get damaged if it's just like sitting right in front of a window space. From what I've read, the argon gas has almost no effect on plants, so that wasn't a huge concern on our end. It seals that airspace, and it also increases the R value of the window. Very abysmal, just a small amount, but still something. And it absolutely makes sense that you would go with both of those. They are more expensive if you're looking for efficient windows, energy efficient. In our case, we were kind of willing to compromise on that in order for the seeds to do better. I've done some deep diving, and what I've found is, in general, the whole UV thing is not a huge issue for plants. We're still gonna have the solar gain loss, but as far as like the UV rays, most plants can grow fine indoors, and we've experienced this too when we start our seeds at our old property and here. We usually have no issues. We provide a lot of supplemental light, and it's not a problem. So going forward, these windows should actually work out in our favor. I think the whole thing was just frustrating and far more challenging, and we're not gonna really know how it performs until we actually get it all sealed up, heat the building, and start some plants in there. Look, it's not staying. Where's that rubber, that roller?
It's right in there.
Here. I don't know, it just seemed like right when you went to do it, it like went to... Does it stick when it's hotter?
What do you mean? It's stuck like glue. What do you mean?
Oh. So something like that? Much. Peel with your fingers. Okay. Stretch it a little if you want, I don't know. That looks really good. So we only have, oh, that's nice.
See, that other one, we stretched it. We did some weird stuff. If you just put it in flat.
Your pole's down on the bottom and just off.
And then you want to set the bottom in on the shims. You know
How
my
are
way?
you on your side? It looks like we gotta go a little to the... I was pretty close on this side, but I don't know if you had more.
Okay, bottom window. Straight down. Okay, good job.
Okay, put it in and then I'll hop inside. On your ship?
Yep, push it in.
Okay.
Watch the caulking.
You can probably come my way. I have at least 1/4 inch if you're okay your way. There you go.
Well, I missed some of my caulking on this one.
You pretty much have to run the caulking right on the edge, huh? Did you caulk the bottom, honey? Yeah, you did, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it opens so nice.
It didn't even occur to me that we have an option how it opens.
Well, one window in. It went okay. It was kind of hard to get it absolutely perfect, but we started with some shims on the bottom. We did a bead of some really nice silicone caulking around the window, and then we fastened it with some screws that have a very small head or a flat head on them, almost kind of like a nail. And we're doing that so later on when we put trim on, we don't have a big screw head sticking out. And these are GRK fasteners, and they're actually a cabinet screw, 8 by 1.5 inches. These ones work pretty good. Arielle's cleaning up the caulking. We made sure it opened. It's smooth. It's a nice window. A little dirty from sitting, but we'll get them cleaned up when we're done. I say what we do is we do all the windows and get them in, and then we come through and do all the flashing tape and finish them.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even. I was because the extra that probably won't be an issue next time. But yeah, the stuff may not stick right now. Oh, so they don't slide around?
You kind of hold them in place.
I'm using you.
Push it forward, push it forward.
I'm using you for my eyes. I can't see nothing.
Push your bottom in.
That's a really tight corner. Like not the fit, but my. Actually, looks good. I'll tell you what. You don't want too big of a rough opening, but we have the minimum. They're reflective. Do you see how I can see the reflection of the house rock?
See, we got our little windows. Look at these nice little drains
A
down there.
little drip edge?
That's
Weep
what the water
holes.
drains are. Weep holes. That's, I couldn't think of the name.
Grab it for some reason. From the front.
You in?
Yeah, I'm in on my bottom.
Push your bottom in all the way?
Good space. Gotta go your way a little to the left.
Yeah, it does. Cool. Gotta love the battery power caulking gun, huh?
Oh, the coffee's probably gonna be in the way, huh?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know if I got it on the shim. Okay, I did.
On to the next one, and this window is unique because not only does it have the low E coating on it, for some reason this one got filled with argon gas. So we've got just this mixture of windows. But we're gonna put it right here in this position. It's north facing. Arielle said that that's gonna work better because argon gas gives you better insulation.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Got it. We're good. Maybe my little, I don't know.
Oh, this one was lighter because of the argon. We didn't try to do the roof and the windows in the same day, right? Last screw, we're done with them, almost. Now we are going to finish these windows off with some flashing tape.
Does it look okay to you? Have you not been in there yet?
In here?
Yeah, you haven't been in there, have you? Not since we put the windows in.
It feels warm in here. Like the heat's transferring into here and it's staying. Before we put the windows in, we already did the flexible flashing tape on the bottom, and that stuff's kind of cool because you can wedge it into corners. This is just normal flashing tape. We're gonna do the sides now. On both sides, we'll do a strip across the top, and then we'll fold the house wrap back over it. We'll tape it with our Tyvek tape. This window will be done. Hold that down there at the bottom.
Okay.
And then we'll cut this on here.
1/8 of an inch.
Yep, I got you. You good?
Go a little more to your left. Yeah, beautiful. Oh no, the roller.
Oh my gosh, why do you have to say oh no like that?
Do you have the roller or is it inside? You want me to get it?
It better not be inside.
I'll go get it if
No, it's right here.
inside.
It's right here. Okay, put your bottom where your bottom goes. Right there?
Yep.
Yep.
Can't see anything up there, so I'm kind of going off your judgy Monte. Do you want to do that now, actually, and use this small one right here?
Tape this one first and the second one, right? Roll it straight against the frame.
I like to string it out first for me. It's really hard to. I want a really short ladder here. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
I want a really short ladder here. Over now?
Yeah. Good.
Well, we finished up with what we wanted to get done tonight. This part took a little bit more. It was time consuming because everything's so like tight in there, so we had to kind of customize some of the flashing tape. But it looks good, I think.
And that's pretty much it for now on the seed room. We had to jump over here and work on this seed room because we had a few things we needed to get done before it got too cold, like concrete, the flashing tape, which is really hard to work with when it starts getting cold, and the caulking.
Almost everything is completely sealed up now, minus some blocking, right?
Yeah, we got to do the blocking up top. We're going to come back to it. A lot more work to do. Insulation. We got to get more supplies.
A lot of folks comment on the fact that we don't have a door. We wanted to mention that anyways. So we opted not to put a door in. It was definitely deliberate because we are planning on mainly using the shop door that comes out. And we're not going to be needing something that would go directly outside. It's also like a huge thing that we're heating this, and it's not that efficient, so we're trying not to create any extra like air gaps.
Yeah, when you put in a door, like the door in the shop or the door in our house, that's always an area where you get frost and things like that. And
Huge loss of heat.
yeah, you get the exchange of heat, and there's always cracks and stuff. And for obvious reasons, you want an emergency exit. We've got our 2 windows that open if we ever need to jump out a window, and
We could do it.
there's just nothing back here, so we figured we didn't need a door to lead back to the woods. So there's that.
There's going to be more to come once it gets cold.
Yep, we'll be back inside the seed room, finishing things up in there. We'll be back in the shop. We got a lot of work to do in there.
That's going to be it for now out here, and we will see you on the next video. Look at this side. I like this side.
Are these windows rock-proof?
No.
Oh yeah, this side looks... I like those windows way better than the ones that open.
You like the casement or the
I just like how they look. They're
picture
just
window.
a huge window.
Yeah, they don't have any sort of barrier.
Yeah, so the blocking, I think we're gonna have to take a couple of those 2x6s and put them on a sawmill and actually cut them down to a certain height.
Yeah, you need them flush.
So they fit in there, which will be easy, and then we'll just put those all in.
All right, we'll make this quick, but we couldn't leave you hanging. We wanted to show you what the windows look like all clean. It took us a long time to clean them the other night. I'm pretty sure they're never gonna be this clean again. But check out that view. That's the window with argon. You can tell just a little bit of a difference.